I'm doing a thing.
Are you doing that Antifa thing? I don't know. I saw something on the news about them rioting.
Sure, I gotta go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not. That's right. It's not Antifa. Now you're like one of the red soldier things there. What do you call that again?
I gotta go, Mom.
Sweetie, are you gonna be doing this after Halloween? Please tell me that.
Oh, God. Hate her.
Worse than Antifa? Revolutionary commies attack socialists. You may remember our video and webpage report called Mayday, Antifa's Red Guard attacks May 1st, 2019, in which the Red Guard attacked Texas Nomads SAR, who were just standing there filming. It appears that the Red Guard, or something like it, attacked one or more members of the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, in Kansas. Kansas! It's bad enough that we have socialists organizing in Kansas, in the middle of America. But we apparently have militant communist extremists who make the average Antifa seem peaceful and reasonable in the middle of Kansas. If you don't know, the DSA is the party of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, for example. Their symbol is close to that of the party from George Orwell's 1984. It's hard to believe it's not some sort of joke. Here you see them side by side. Have a look at this post by KC Democratic Socialists of America on Facebook. You can see there is blood on the carpet there. There is stuff strewn about. Well, from both sides, the story is that this revolutionary communist group stormed in and basically attacked them. As far as I could find, there isn't much to go on other than this Facebook post and what is apparently a communique from the perpetrators. In another video, we'll go over the communique from a splinter group which now opposes this group. Here's a little taste.
The Red Guards were founded in Austin, Texas in 2015. They formed from a split in a previous Maoist party building attempt.
But that's for another video. If they didn't shed blood, I would think that this is some sort of satire or a joke. As we've seen in the first video that I mentioned, they actually shed blood, so it's, yeah. There you go. Today we'll focus on this from Incendiary News, apparently their propaganda outlet. Let's have a look.
Incendiary News Service. Kansas City anti-revisionist confrontation of DSA event ends in bloodshed by Daniel Reed. Photo. Anti-revisionist contingent reads a speech detailing the crimes of DSA and reasons for confrontation. On October 12th, a contingent of anti-revisionist combatants confronted a public meeting of the Kansas City chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America, DSA. Online propaganda from the DSA and their supporters has tried to portray the event as a brutal attack on the elderly. But in reality, a DSA member who attacked a woman combatant was repelled, taking multiple blows that left him bloodied and sent to the hospital. Only 2 local DSA chapter leaders and 2 other members who were helping to set up for the event were present when the militant activists blocked the door to the venue and made their way inside. Upon entry, a speech was read by one of the revolutionaries detailing the rotten nature of the DSA's practices locally and nationally, as well as how the struggle against fascism must include confronting social fascism, as revisionism is the enemy of genuine socialism. The charges made against DSA were that nationally they have had police union organizers in elected positions of leadership, that they act as foot soldiers for the imperialist Democratic Party, and that they are a revisionist formation that is aiming to corral the working class under the wing of the bourgeoisie in the name of socialism by encouraging participation in the bourgeois electoral farce. I'll take a break.
Are they serious?
I don't know.
Cupcake,
I don't know.
Serious?
I don't know if these people are serious.
Oh, babies, no. You can't be that dumb. That's not allowed. No.
The thing is, the reason why we're like, okay, wait, could this actually be, like, say, right-wing people doing this on purpose to make them look bad? Or is it the real thing? Or is this a joke that went too far? It's hard to tell, and that says a lot. During the speech, propaganda materials and the projector were confiscated by the revolutionaries, DSA leadership making no attempt to stop them. Quote, revolution's not for play, down with the DSA, and DSA will never win, social democracy's fascism's twin, were chanted as the event supplies were taken. They were confiscated, you see, because property does not belong to people. Property belongs to the people. It is at this point that a local activist, Carl, who had been kicked out of another organization for defending sexual abusers, and is known for trying to publicly expose the identities of communists, rushed at the combatants attempting to reclaim his propaganda, yelling, quote, this is a safe space, unquote. When will these people understand that their safe space to us is just liberal, boomer, new age, politically correct, and not revolutionary enough? He threw the first punch, targeting one of the women revolutionaries, but was immediately beaten back by the combatants. While one DSA leader tried to defend him, the brawl broke out again when Carl grabbed another revolutionary and tackled him to the ground. The revolutionaries rallied and freed their comrade, and Carl was left bloodied along with the remnants of his propaganda strewn on the floor. Greg Mueller, another of the local DSA leaders, called the director of the space to rush to the scene, while Kansas/Missouri Dream Alliance, KSMODA, were holding a DACA clinic next door, called the police, showing their bourgeois character. And they will be among those who we drag to the gallows, brothers and sisters, come the revolution. KCDSA, Carl and his wife, Brianna, have subsequently crafted an online counter-propaganda effort to blur the real contradictions that led to this action, painting the actions against Carl as, quote, attacking the elderly, unquote, and referring to him as a, quote, disabled veteran, unquote. KCDSA traffics in identity, opportunism, when convenient to their cause. Unlike us, we didn't mention that they attacked a woman at all. Before the skirmish, the revolutionaries had made it clear that the reason for their disruption and confiscation of materials was due to the social, fascist nature of DSA. Carl targeted a woman revolutionary, and the other revolutionaries responded accordingly. A woman. They attacked a woman. And they also engage in identity opportunism, too. Unlike us. The primary contradiction was between communists and revisionists, and necessary force was used to repel the man who had singled out a woman to attack.
Are they serious?
I don't know.
Our comrades are the strongest comrades. Our female comrades shouldn't be attacked because they're female, and thus they're weak, but wait, they're stronger. What? Wait.
And the other side
What?
engages in identity opportunism. A woman. They attacked a woman. And they also engage in identity opportunism, too, unlike us. The local branch in Kansas City, KSDSA, has misled the masses into think that the fight for socialism amounts to little more than hosting book clubs, film screenings, and ineffectual rallies. KCSDA, they mean KCDSA, has served as a magnet for cast-off activists and protest hoppers, as well as doing the legwork of local Democratic candidates. The DSA acts as a conveyor belt for bringing bourgeois ideology to the masses in attempts to organize them behind the party of capitalism with a leftist veneer. The historical anti-fascism that they gathered to celebrate was not organized through quote-unquote left unity, or by revisionists like themselves, but by genuine communist parties that took up arms against fascists and correctly identified local democracy as social fascism and combated it ideologically, politically, and militarily. A real anti-fascist day of unity cannot include revisionists. Democratic socialism, like all forms of revisionism, poses the utmost danger to the struggle for revolution. When revisionists are wounded, as they were last weekend in Kansas City, even observers who are otherwise critical of the DSA may cringe, appalled by the violence that took place, and yet many of these observers, for all their non-violent protests and online comments, have not managed to deal any serious blows to the revisionism, which has clamped down on socialist revolution in the US for most of the past century, which has kept workers exploited, nations oppressed, and the masses downtrodden. To those who side with the bourgeoisie. The images of blood from the wait, is that my mom calling?
Sweetie, are you at band practice?
Mom, I'm not going to band practice.
Are you coming home for dinner?
Yes.
I said, are you coming home for dinner?
I'm doing a thing.
Ooh, are you doing that Antifa thing? I don't know. I saw something on the news about them rioting.
Shut up, I can't edit. I gotta go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not. That's right. It's not that Antifa. Now you're like one of the red soldier things there. What do you call that again?
I gotta go, Mom.
Sweetie, are you gonna be doing this after Halloween? Please tell me that this is just
God.
after Halloween.
Hate her.
Sweetie. Sweetie. Is that a grandson? Come talk to you.
Hey, honey, on your way home for dinner, can you stop and pick up some hemorrhoid cream for your dad?
Oh, Grandma, do we have to talk about this right now? I'm doing a thing right now.
Well, yeah. You don't want him to have to use the donut thingy again.
God damn it, we'll talk about this later, Grandma!
You have to tell me. If you're gonna pick it up, otherwise I gotta send your sister to the store and she just can get her hands on. It takes an hour to finish. Your dad's gonna be, it's gonna burn.
To those who side with the bourgeoisie, the images of blood from last Saturday are disturbing. But to revolutionaries, what happened is fine. Revisionism will not magically disappear on its own. It caters to the least oppressed among the masses and seeks to dupe the rest by parading counterfeit socialism. Saturday's bloodshed stains this charade, its forgery slowly unmasked as revolutionaries wage a merciless struggle against revisionism and opportunism.
There you go, folks. That's it in its entirety. This is not the only anti-DSA propaganda piece from Incendiary News. For example, they also have the DSA is a grease trap. Anyone who bothers to look into the DSA just a little on social media or whatever could see that they are indeed communists and Marxists, and they overlap with Antifa. So, is the Red Guard even more extreme than Antifa? What are we to expect from this group in the future? And splinter groups. In another video, we'll go over some sort of a communique from a rival group that's apparently split off from the Red Guard, as read by Tabby. You had a little taste of that earlier. Alrighty folks, subscribe to us on BitChute, donate to us through Subscribestar. In the webpage version of this video, there's lots of links to lots of web pages and social media accounts of this group and overlap groups. It's crazy stuff. Till next time, liberty, strength, honor, honesty, justice, truth, love, and laughter.